Hey everybody, how's it going? I am making sure that I'm doing this right. Every day I think I get just a a little bit better at this. I've got a better setup now, I think. It's, again, very cobbled together, but it's getting set up better, and my husband and I have been really kind of brainstorming as to the best way to do this because even when we go back to normal, um, whatever normal is anyway, I want to continue doing this, and so I need to have something that is easy to set up and take down, or I can leave it up somewhere so that the videos still happen, but they don't disrupt the shop, or they're easy to watch and easy to learn from. So anyway, excuse me. I didn't bring water in with me today. I am making sure. Yep. Okay, cool. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay. So what I wanted to do today, and again, I'm doing these real simple ones in the beginning because I want to make sure I can get the videos working right. So this one, I think I've got a better, I still got a shadow that I don't like, but we're getting there. But anyway, I got several people commented that they would love to do beginning knitting on video. And so I'm going to do just a little highlight of what it looks like. This is not a full-blown lesson yet because, again, I just want to make sure I can get these videos working properly. So it's going to be good. I am considering also doing some lessons on Zoom. Still going to figure out if you can see it well enough, that kind of thing. I do have a way, I think I have a way to do all my switcher stuff. Excuse me, sorry. With Zoom and everything, so you'd be able to see my hands. So that's really important to me, that you can really see. So enough messing around with that. I'm going to switch over so you can see my hands. And I have got here, hang on, I'm going to do this a little quick. Hopefully by taking a big old whiff, it's clearing my throat out a little bit. Don't you just love springtime in Texas? You get all kinds of stuff floating around in the air. So here, these are the little tassels that we made yesterday. So much fun. Okay, so, and then also the little video we did the other day too. This is something, gosh, I started working on this, I don't even know how long ago, and I'm not sure why I didn't finish it. It's going to be basically a cowl with a button kind of thing. So you can take it on and off really easily. But the reason why I chose to show you on this, see if I tighten up on this just a little bit more, you can see a little closer. The reason why I chose to use this is because it's a basic pattern. It's just, sorry, my brain just went blank there for a second. It's got knit stitches and it's got purl stitches, and it's a short thing. It's a real easy thing. It's on straight needles. Lots of simple parts to this. So I'm just going to give a little overview of what these stitches look like. And then when I get the video to the place where I'm really comfortable, then I will start doing real lessons. So until then, I'm just going to keep doing these little, get to know you kind of things, or little simple projects. Okay, now this one's got a slip stitch on the end, so I'm just going to slip that right off. And this one starts with a knit stitch. So there are basically two ways to do a knit stitch. There is the English style, which is the way I learned, otherwise known as throwing, and it's not really throwing like you think. And then there is the continental type, which is also known as picking, is what I like to call it, because there are lots of different ways to do either of those two things. So, and I don't even know how many different ways there are to knit, but you have to do which one works for you. I learned throwing, so I'm going to show you that one first. So what you do, I don't think you're still tight enough in. Let me tighten up just a little bit more. Okay, So what you do is you're going to come into the front, going front to the back of your loop, and you're going to take your working yarn and you're going to go around the back, and you're going to make sure it goes between those two needles. I got to tighten up just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, you're going to make sure it goes between those two needles, and then you're basically making a loop in a loop. So you're going to make the next loop by pulling your needle through and dropping it off. Don't worry, we'll show a bunch more. Okay, so I'm trying to get a little closer. I can tighten up a little bit more on this so you can really see. Okay, so you're going in the front to behind that needle here, my left needle. I'm going to go around the back and I'm going to pop it through between those two needles right there. Then this needle, I'm going to work down and underneath, pulling that loop through and off as I go. One more time. Front to the back, around the back, pulling it through and dropping it off. Okay, that's throwing. They call it throwing because you throw the yarn around the needle. Now I'm going to show you picking. And I normally recommend picking if you are a crocheter. I recommend picking because you already know how to hold your yarn in your left hand. Okay, so you're going to do it kind of like you're crocheting. Now a lot of people hold when they're doing continental or picking, they hold their finger way out here. I find this yarn here to be too fiddly for me, so I kind of shortened mine up and I hold it right at the needle. And so you're basically going to do the same thing, you're just doing it from the other side. You're going to go in front to back, but this time you're going to pick the yarn. You're going to pick it up off your finger and you're going to pull that loop through. Drop it off. You're going to go in, you're going to pick up that loop off your finger and drop it off. To me, this way, it's easier for some things and it's harder for others. Now, maybe that's also because I learned the other way, and so some things still are not all that comfortable, but this way is definitely faster. So if that's a consideration for you, if you're a production person, this would be the way to go for you. So I'm going to do a couple more and then I'm going to get to my purl and I'll show you. So I'm just doing continental, I'm doing picking. All right, so you can see now when I look at my pattern, these are a different shape. So this is now where I'm going to purl. So I'll show you how to do English style purling first. Now the only difference really between a knit and a purl stitch is your yarn is in the front. And, I mean, the stitches are a little bit different, but that's the big thing, is that your yarn is in front, whereas in a knit stitch your yarn is in the back. So I'm pulling it to the front, and you always need your yarn pretty close to the end. And I'm going to come in, and I'm again going to put it between the needles, wrapping it around. And again, I'm making another loop inside of that loop and pulling it off. That's it. That's all there is to it. Try it again. My yarn is still in the front. Going in, this time I'm going in back to front, as opposed to on the knit stitch you go front to back, on the purl stitch you go back to front. And around the front, pull it off. Now there are a couple knit stitches in here real quick. Let me get to the next section here. All right. Oh, whoops, one more knit. And yeah, once you do it a little while, you can look at it and go, oh, that's a knit stitch, that's a purl stitch. Okay, I'm going to do a couple purl stitches in the continental. Again, wrapping it around just like you would with crochet. I'm going to pull that yarn to the front, but I'm still got it on my finger here. I'm going, back to front, wrapping it around in the front. Now I do this thing, there are so many different ways to do this. This is the way I've decided it works best for me. I wrap around and I pull my finger down so it doesn't unwrap, and I'm again pulling that loop through and off. One more time. Wrapping it, pulling it through and off. And the cool thing about this is I don't have to move the yarn with this hand on Continental on when my yarn is over here. I just move my yarn from in front of the needle to in back of the needle and start stitching the next section. So that's the good thing. Now, I still do lots of things English style because some of them are more comfortable to me and I can figure them out faster because I'm used to that more. But I decided I better teach myself a few different ways in case somebody else is more comfortable with a different way. So that's a little highlight. Let me go back to. That's a little highlight of what knitting looks like. And hopefully you're interested and intrigued. And once I get this video stuff really to a place where I'm comfortable with it and the setup and everything, then we will do classes. And I am very close to that. My husband and I were brainstorming on some things that he could build for me. So I've got literally, y'all, I have a milk crate. I have a Lazy Susan with cardstock on top of it. I've got a light here. I've got my other iPad here so that I can, it's crazy what you have to do to make it work. But I'm trying to do all these things and make sure I got the setup the way I want. He's going to build me something and then we will be ready for classes. And I'm really excited about that because I want to do sewing, knitting, crochet, you name it. I want to do classes online so that even people who are somewhere else in Texas, in Corpus, in the world, I mean, we can go anywhere with it. So, and we can have anything. I mean, if it's a stormy day, but yet we're having a class in the studio, in the shop, we can still have people somewhere else. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and I will talk to you soon.